Okay, so being queer is already hard enough, and then you throw in being Asian and also throw in being a creative. Living in the UK, that is literally my life. I've been living in the UK for I think almost 20 years now. I was here from year 7 when I was 11. I went to a boarding school in Portsmouth in the UK. It's down south, it's close to Brighton. It was a shithole. People were really mean. It was the 2000s. There was no like cancel culture. I remember having a crush on boys, but I would never really look them in the eyes. I remember that's what I did. People started spreading the rumor that I was gay. I mean, I was dressed like so flamboyant at that point. I'll wear like double-breasted blazers to school. I was always different, and it was not a good feeling. I was always picked on, I was bullied heavily. I wasn't speaking good enough English to really know what's going on most of the time. My parents weren't there. My brother was in the same school, but then I would not really like see him that often. I felt alone most of the time. I think that has impacted me a lot in the way that I behave now. I'm still nervous at looking at guys in the eyes when I like them. Just now I just got back from the gym. Even though there is a guy that I like, I'll probably like look at them in just like a glance and then move on if they're not looking at me. Or if they do look at me, I'll even like just pretend that I didn't look at them. I think that is my biggest struggle in life, caused by having this childhood experience of not being able to just be, like other kids then could just, if they like someone, like a straight cis guy, just look at like a straight cis girl, like they would just look at each other, like they wouldn't, there's no shame in checking out somebody. And there's so much shame around being gay. I can see the impact that it has in my life. The way that I build up my confidence is by not giving a fuck. Everybody knows that, right? But I think it's more than that. I think it's really like putting yourself in really uncomfortable situations and see how you would react and observe that. Try not to rely on anything like alcohol, drugs, or whatever to be comfortable. And I think like the only reason to do that is just by doing it, exposing yourself to these things, actually like saying hi to a guy at the gym if you like them. I've done that. You have to be in a very strong place in order to work up that energy to say hi to someone and potentially getting rejected. I'm not very stable all of the time because with my work for the last 2 or 3 years, I literally have to work every single second in order to make ends meet. And I know that like by going up to someone and getting rejected is going to really, I'm going to fumble for sure. Rejection is like the biggest thing that I fear, and I'm trying to work on it. But if you really ask me, that is what has prevented me from getting opportunities, I would say. Having that childhood of thinking that because I'm Asian, because I'm gay, because I'm not in business, I'm a creative person, I'm going to be less than everybody else. I think that has always been in my mind, and the only way to become better is to just unapologetically just become yourself. That is why my Instagram is so important to me, because I can just do that. And then I know that like people do celebrate that aspect of me and celebrate my physical being, which I've always had so much shame around. I was a fat kid. By putting yourself out there, by consistently juicing things and then getting rewarded or getting positive feedback is how you climb out of that dirty little traumatic hole that you've dug yourself. It's done by other people, but it is your own thoughts that traps you in that place. I'm not saying that it is your fault, but it is our responsibility to not stay in that hole. We have the agency to know our worth, and that is what has given me so much hope in life. Even though at this moment, like, I'm not even making enough money to cover all of my expenses, like including rent. But I've been through that phase. I've been through that phase of like getting fired and not having a job and literally have no money and having to get help from the government to sustain my life during COVID. I've been through all of those stages. I've been here before, so I know that I have the power, agency, I have the discipline, I have the potential to get back on track and get even better results. I know it's so hard when you're feeling really down, but you just have to believe in yourself. If I could like elaborate on that more, because it could just sound so cliche, is that like you know what the issue is. Like you can identify what the problem you're facing, because of the past and everything you've done. Like, you know that you are driven, you are capable in solving all of these problems. I didn't really believe that before, but I know that it's true when people say there are a lot of people who've been through the same thing and they have all solved that problem. That problem is not personal, it's not unique to you. If you can experience it, loads of people would have experienced it and also solved it. It's a problem that is solvable. It's just gonna take time. The reason I got so much traumatic impact from COVID was because I didn't have that knowledge in myself that I could survive. I didn't know that that I was qualified to get money from the government, and I was in the UK by myself. I had friends, but I would not feel good to borrow money from them to pay rent when I didn't know whether or not I could pay it back. But then I worked really, really freaking hard to make money by making art. It didn't really work out, but it got me back on track in making art, and I found a job. You just have to like keep going, and it's okay to feel stressed and it's okay to feel depressed. And if you do feel depressed, go to your GP and you get counseling. This is what I've done. Things started to becoming more hopeful when lockdown was lifted. I think that is just what it is. Like, it's the condition that is limiting you. That is the condition that is not giving you all these opportunities. And I think that is why I'm struggling in the UK. They obviously are not seeing the worth in me. And I guess that brings back to my childhood. I just don't think that people ever saw the worth in me as a queer person, as an Asian person, as a creative. It is the condition of this country. And it works for other people, but now I realize that it doesn't work for me anymore. I feel like I have an unlimited amount of potential, but I just don't think the people here see it. And it's okay. Maybe that will push me to become better. I just have to see it in a way that is going to be beneficial to me. That is what's going to keep me lifted from that hole that I was talking about. You just have to find hope in your life. If you lose that, like, there's no possibilities. There's nothing. I think I went through that too, to know that now. I got so depressed during COVID, and the only thing that I could think about is killing myself. Amongst like making an art career, but then I became aware that like it was an unrealistic being a professional artist that have a sustainable amount of income. I think that would have ended everything for me. Having hope in your life is literally the thing that is going to get you what you want.